So you think that 2020 election was stolen?
There's so much evidence that points towards that it's just
Well,
you
see,
can't deny it now.
I think that people today who say, no, it wasn't stolen, it was straight up, know in their hearts, in the back of their minds, the truth, which cannot be argued against
No.
or
Oh, they can
challenged.
argue against it, but they're arguing like a liberal.
Yeah, well, certainly. Well, even the Republicans out there and the conservatives go, no, it was fair. It was fair. You know, it was fair.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I don't
Yeah.
think it was. I think that was a ripping off, a complete and total undermining of our democratic systems.
Yeah.
For the benefit of one party. In fact, I'll go even further, Nick.
Oh, here we go.
I think they tried the 2016 election.
I think they did too.
Absolutely.
And it made it too big to rig.
It made it too big to rig.
Yeah.
That's right. Because they didn't really know what all the rigging processes were. But I think they tried, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, they tried in 2024. Did you see that in Wisconsin?
Oh, sure.
Like it took another jump like it did in 2020, but it was so big on Trump's side that they couldn't
do it. Yeah. There were mechanisms were put into place through Congress and whatever else that barely allowed Trump to win the election against their cheating. I'm using the word cheating.
And if
you want to disagree with that, then I have a question for you. In 2016, Hillary won with like 69 million votes, something like that.
Won?
No. Hillary lost with 69 million votes and Trump got like 71 million.
Something like that.
Something like that. In 2020, Biden won with 81 million votes.
81 million.
That's 12 million votes more. That's like more than 10% more.
And then where did all those votes go whenever Kamala?
Yeah, and that's exactly right.
Yeah.
4 years later, when the stakes were at their absolute highest for the left, where did those last 6 or 8 million votes go? They just went. They just decided not to vote.
Dude. Yeah.
You can't tell me they all swung over to Trump because they didn't.
Yeah.
They just disappeared. You know why? Because mechanisms were put into place that were saying, no, we're not going to count that mysterious trunk full of ballots. We're not going to do it.
I don't think there was mechanisms put in place. I think they realized that they couldn't do it twice. Like they did it once.
Oh, not me. I think they
realized if we do it twice, we'll have an uprising of conservatism, which that's what happened anyway.
I don't think they would care about that. I mean, they were
see what you're saying.
Hell bent on an uprising regardless, whether it was the right uprising because it got stolen again, or what you see going on right now in Portland and Seattle. There's gonna be an uprising anyway by what I now call the violent left.
The violent left or the terroristic left?
Well, the violent left, terroristic left, what do you want to call it?
I'd rather call it terroristic left. But back to our original topic.
Yeah, so I will agree that the morning after pill may very well be or is a form of abortion, but not quite like aborting a fetus that's 6 months in.
But that's the thing. We have to consider.
No, life is life regardless.
Right. The severity, like it's still life that you're terminating.
But we know we're terminating.
I actually have a video that I want to play. I know. I'm sorry. And I had the video, so I'll show you guys on the screen, but we're just going to listen to it because of what's being said. And it actually talks about kind of spiritual warfare and this person who didn't necessarily have a lot of abortions, but she didn't know why she was being spiritually attacked. And she kept hearing the word murder. So I saved it. Hopefully, did I save it? Talk about something else, Nick.
Well, I developed. They're still talking about reparations, and I was watching a video the other day on reparations, and I
found it. Never mind. Here we go.
Well, I've changed my opinion on reparations, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute.
So, like, when I do exorcisms, a lot of times people are like, "Well, I'm liberal." I'm like, "I can't do an exorcism." I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, there's no such thing as a liberal or a Christian who votes to murder babies. Like that, there's something wrong with the foundation of what you're saying. And so when we get into it, I say, you know what, we'll do the exorcism. It's going to make your life worse, but you'll see what I'm saying. I'll just get the demons to tell you that abortion is murder and not your political opinion. And so I'll do them. 7 hours into one of them, this lady tells me, we keep hearing murder, all this stuff. And she's like, I've never murdered anyone. I was like, did you ever have an abortion? She's like, well, no. I was like, did you ever take a morning after pill when you thought you might? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, the demons think that that's murder. There was probably a baby conceived that you didn't know about and you murdered it. And she's like, her face just like turns white. I'm like, I'm not trying to shame you or anything. Like, it's all covered by the blood of Christ. It's in the sea of forgetfulness. Don't let guilt and shame. As a matter of fact, if you let guilt and shame come in, we'll have to repent that too. So don't do that.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting, yeah.
And I kind of want to move into the perspective of my girlfriend. I'm not going to tell you guys her name, but we had this discussion about the morning after pill because we both been married before. Like, she has an ex-husband, I have an ex-wife. And I remember with me and my ex-wife, she was unaware of her cycle, and I came inside her because she thought she was in a different part of her cycle to where she wouldn't get pregnant. And turns out she was mistaken. And we had taken the morning after. She had taken the morning after pill one time before that, earlier in our marriage, and I just thought it was okay. Like, I was very ignorant to what is going on. And I remember that one time whenever we had that, I guess you can call it, accident. And then I was at the gym, and I told you whenever I was leaving the gym with my ex-wife at that time, I told you what we were about to go do.
Oh, yeah.
And you called me back in. He's like, bro, if we believe that life happens at conception. And that's all I needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out and I told my ex-wife, we're not getting the morning after pill. And then she started researching, is this abortion? But I told her, I'm like, I don't care if whatever you find, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully
she wasn't
pregnant.
There was
that was a blessing in disguise that she wasn't pregnant.
Yeah.
But then my current girlfriend, she had taken multiple morning after pills with her ex-husband, and she was arguing, no. Like, all it does is detach the egg. It doesn't actually kill a life. And I'm like, that's not true. And I had to show the research doing via ChatGPT that.
Well, what else is it going to detach?
Well, no. She thought that
of
conception.
Course it detaches the.
Hang on. Her argument was conception doesn't happen until 48 hours later.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're false on that. I'm calling you out. I'm not going to sit back in the shadows like I used to with all my other relationships. You are incorrect. And then I had to bring proof because, as a conservative, we bring receipts. We bring proof to show you
Imagine
you are
that.
wrong.
Yeah.
And so, and by the way, my girlfriend's highly conservative. Like, she voted for Trump. She's the only one that voted for Trump out of her whole family. She lives in California. So, like, she has it bad when it comes to, like, having to deal with the left-wing rhetoric of her family.
Yeah.
But I showed her the receipts, and ChatGPT said it could happen within the first couple of minutes, or it could take a little bit longer than that. So you don't really know. And whenever I showed her that, she was very upset. She's like, oh my gosh, babe, you're right.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a couple of days to, and then later on, she thanked me because she really wanted to have, because she said, Nick, when we get married, I want to be able to enjoy you, like, for about a year before we start having kids. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I was just telling her, like, my pull-up game's, pretty spot on, so we're good to go there. She's like, yeah, but if you do, I want to take the morning after pill. No. We are not taking the morning after pill.
Well, see, okay, so here's
no, wait. In other words, I won the argument.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And then she admitted that, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had to, like, take a couple of days to really pray about it and take it in because she had just realized that she may have done exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And then she actually gave me permission to be able to talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
So
yeah, it makes for good conversation because it's cultural.
Yes.
It's political. It's religious, spiritual,
bro,
biological. It covers the whole gamut.
It covers all of it.